In Taipei, people pay their respects to a dead Taiwanese soldier, one killed thousands of kilometers away, fighting against Russian forces in Ukraine. People here told us Wu Zhongda went to Ukraine twice and was killed by Russian shelling. A fellow volunteer says Wu was determined to stay in the fight.
后来他说他要回去，我说真的假？我有劝过他不用，你做的你们都已经有帮助到他们了，不要再回去冒险。可是他说他还想去帮助他们。
Around 40 people showed up to this church to mourn his death. Wu is the second Taiwanese soldier known to have died fighting in Ukraine. Ukraine's resistance to Russia has resonated with many in Taiwan, which faces its own existential threat from China, which has vowed to take Taiwan by force if necessary. When Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called for foreign volunteers to join the fight, some people from Taiwan stepped up.
你中国人都在帮助俄罗斯，那我们台湾人为什么不能帮助乌克兰？
Taiwan has helped in other ways, too. One think tank says the country has sent at least 800 tons of humanitarian and medical aid to Ukraine, and at least $126 million in donations to help with power, healthcare, and social services. While most of this aid comes from government funds, civil society groups and regular people in Taiwan have also raised money to help. One local movement says they have raised at least tens of thousands of US dollars for supplies for Ukraine's war effort.
So for military purposes, of course, most often those are drones, small drones that have proven to be extremely useful at the battlefield. And then for humanitarian purposes, there's a lot of kind of needs that we're covering.
Volunteers from both Taiwan and Ukraine have their own reasons for raising funds.
One of the major motivations is, of course, Taiwanese people relating to Ukraine and sort of projecting some of those uncertainties, perhaps, and some of that grief that Ukrainians have been experiencing from before the war and after onto themselves.
Some of Taiwan's leaders have also pointed out the parallels between Taiwan and Ukraine.
Everything we're doing now is to prevent the pain and suffering of the tragedy of Ukraine from being repeated in our scenario in Taiwan.
In December 2022, former Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen extended mandatory military service for men from 4 months to a year. And seeing Ukraine's successful use of drones and portable anti-tank weapons on the battlefield, Taiwan's defense ministry has moved up its own domestic production. So, as it prepares for a potential conflict with China, Taiwan is both helping and learning from Ukraine. Ryan Wu and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.